Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the show. I'm Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3 Racing Network, and as you can see here, wrapping up practice for race number 12 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stock Series. That's right, folks, race number 12. It is championship night. These drivers getting ready to do battle here for the final time in the season number 1 of 2025 here with the American Sim Racing Club. I know you're probably not used to hearing my voice on the Tuesday night. Sadly, old Upstate Al having a little bit of a sickness, down and under the weather here. So we're going to go take on over for him, bring you the action-packed racing here tonight as we get cars out here for qualifying. First car we'll be taking a look at is the 93 machine, Quick Time Motorsports of Andrew Payne. Payne coming into tonight sits second in points, only 20 points back from Zach Nichols, our points leader. So we'll be really looking at here tonight the 93 and the 44, seeing where they shake on out, seeing how this all plays out, because all it comes down to is here tonight a lot of points battles throughout the field, of course, as Payne across the line. First lap, very good lap, a 19.22 from the 93 machine. Payne on lap number 2 of 2. Of course, here in qualifying, going to be 2-lap qualifying, going to take your best lap of the 2. So right now, Payne sits atop of the board. That's big time sideways there, trying to get everything he can. Of course, that time, not as good for the 93 machine, but right now, good enough. Top of the charts for Andrew Payne. Another driver out here that has been very good in qualifying, especially last couple weeks. Can find him streaming these races on YouTube. It is the number 2 of Jimmy Gowker. Gowker lap number 1, good enough for P number 2, 19.23 for the number 2. Gowker down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here in qualifying. Going to see if he can go faster here on lap number 2. It's going to be a tall order because lap number 1 is usually where it's at. Yes, it is. 19.25 for lap number 2 for Gowker. Then the one of Tanner Tallarico jumps into P number 4, so a good lap from him there. Taking a look at last week's winner and the J-Bo Designs machine, the 33. This is Justin Brooks. Brooks on his flying lap goes quick time in the 33 machine. Just caught the end of it there coming to the stripe, but he will go to P number 1 with a 19.19. So another great lap from Justin Brooks. He's trying to go 2 in a row. And folks, if you want to watch a dogfight next season, sounds like maybe he's thinking about running full time with us. It could be an incredible points fight, especially with the 44, 93, 133, 51. I mean, any of those drivers you see in the top 10 and even, top 15, any of those drivers could win this championship. So next season shaping up to be another barn burner, as Zach Nichols lap number 1 only good enough for P number 5, a 19.23, as you see just how close these times are, as Nichols will only get 1 lap here. So it'll be Justin Brooks in the 33 machine walking away with the quick time here tonight. So big congrats to him. As we head on down here with the cars we have here tonight, 22 cars on the premise. That means one thing here: no last chance qualifier. Every car is making the show. But then the other thing here tonight is going to be only 3 heat races. So it's going to be very, very important where these drivers finish in these heat races, of course, because that's going to determine our starting lineup. So here we go. Heat race number 1 is going to look like the following. Justin Brooks with the quick time here in that 33 machine will lead the field to green. To his outside here, finishing 3rd in the LaPlante challenge last week, walking away with some of that LaPlante money. And I got to give a big shout out to LaPlante Racing Products coming on board, sponsoring with that Triple Crown Series. Always very cool. Hoffman able to finish in the points with that. He will start outside of the front row for heat race number 1. Then we head to row number 2. Starting in P number 3 will be the 51. That is Ron, the Hitman Hart, in the 51. To his outside in the Skull Band at number 5. That is Tim Rogers rolling off P number 4. Then rolling off P number 5, it's the friend from up north. It is Devin McDonald in the 18 machine rolling off 5th. 6 going to the 47 machine of TJ Hansen. Starting P number 7 will be the 03. That is Mike McCaskill. And then rounding out heat race number 1 here tonight will be the 45 of Andrew Hardings. Hardings having a tough break last week, having some internet connection issues. Tonight looks like maybe trying to get those things once again figured out, but you can see him once again still blinking in the back of the field here. So hopefully he gets that thing figured out, but we will have to wait and see. 2 to go here to kick off heat race number 1 at the stripe. It will be, of course, 1 to go here. And here tonight, since it's season finale, we give them a little bit longer to race here in the heat race. It's going to be a 15-lap dash to determine tonight's starting order. And of course, invert in effect. We've seen it all season long. Top 12 finishers from the heat race is going to be inverted. So pretty much it's going to be from 4th to 1st, going to be inverted, flipped around. So whoever finishes 4th here in this heat race will start 3rd in the main event. Main event going to be 125 laps. So here we go. It's going to be Brooks Hoffman on the front row. Justin Brooks going to fire off with a great start here. Lead the field down into turn number 1. Going to get clear here. Brooks going to already go to the top side as he will go right across the nose of Hoffman. Hoffman will take over second. Hart will just clear Rogers down the backstretch. So like I mentioned before here, folks, going to keep an eye on the 5 car right now. Going to be in the transfer invert spot here at the moment, as we see Ron Hart trying to go after Stephen Hoffman for second. Hart big time sideways there in turns 1 and 2. Going to be able to keep that car underneath him as they dive down into turns 3 and 4. It looks like Hoffman will take that spot away, and these cars slipping and sliding out here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. Traction's gonna be these drivers' friend. They're gonna have to be very careful on the throttle, which you don't see too often in the late model stocks. Usually these things are plant and go, but here tonight, setup builder trying a little bit looser setup here, give the drivers that little bit more freedom, especially with a long race ahead of them. So I'm excited to see how these drivers handle stuff here tonight. Further on back, Mike McCaskill able to get around TJ Hansen for the 6th position. So everyone else staying exactly where they started here. Justin Brooks out in front, checking on out. He has a 1 second advantage over Stephen Hoffman in second. So Brooks, a man on a mission. He is pretty much still in qualifying mode. He is laying down flying laps here tonight. Brooks going to be one of those cars very, very hard to beat out here tonight. Showed a lot of pace, of course, last week at the Bull Ring there, picking up the win there. Here tonight, doing exactly the same here, starting with the quick time, leading all the laps so far here in heat race number 4. Ron Hart, though, here coming into tonight, sits P number 3 in points. So Hart, if maybe Andrew Payne has a really, really bad race, could get second, but he has about a 20, or I should say 12-point lead over Jaden Kurtachi. Kurtachi not making the call here tonight, had some other commitments, so he's not able to make it. So that puts maybe Jimmy Gauker up into 4th in points when it's all said and done. So Ron Hart looking for another solid year. Of course, had to miss a few races out with us. You know, that took him out of the full-on points contention, but always a factor no matter what track he shows up with, as Stephen Hoffman still keeping that advantage over Hart for that 2nd position. Tim Rogers starting to put a little bit of gap between him and Devin McDonald for that invert position. They're off of turn number 4. Ron Hart gets a piece of the wall there. You can see that right front nose fender a little bit crinkled on the 51. Now big time sideways there off of turn number 2. So Hart's machine might be a little bit wounded there from that wall hit. We'll have to keep an eye on the pace, see if anything changes from there. Further on back, TJ Hansen trying to reclaim that 6th position. Looks like we'll do that here on the front stretch. So Hansen back up to 6th, McCaskill back to 7th. And back to that battle from 2nd through 5th here. about half a second now separating all these cars with 4 laps to go. So seems like everyone running where they want to run here, and you know, these cars with them being looser, we are seeing a very wide arc into turn number 1, helping kind of plant that right rear before putting a lot of wheel in these race cars. And it seems like that is the fast line. That is what Justin Brooks is running, and he is checking out here out in front now, a 2.5 advantage for the 33 machine. Brooks off of turn number 4 here. We'll see popsicle sticks up in the air here for heat race number 1. It's going to be 2 laps to go. Ron Hart starting to feel a little bit more pressure from the 5 car of Tim Rogers. Rogers able to close the gap to about 2 car lengths, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late here, as it is the white flag lap here. 1 more lap to go. Will Rogers try anything here in 3 and 4? We'll keep an eye on this here going into turn number 3. Looks like he will not. So off of turn number 4, first checkered flag of the night, going to the 33 machine of Justin Brooks here, heat race number 1 winner. Stephen Hoffman will finish 2nd, Ron Hart 3rd, Tim Rogers 4th, and Devin McDonald rounding out the top 5 here. So, all right, here we go. Now we head on over to heat race number 2. Heat race number 2 here looking like the following here. Andrew Payne leading the field to the green flag in the 93 machine. Tis outside our points leader, the 44 machine of Zach Nichols. Rolling off P number 3 will be the 38. That is Dave Payne. Rolling off 4th is the 21 of Greggy Long. Starting in the 5th position, that is Chuck Darling in the 88. Colby Garrett in the 48 will roll off 6th. And then starting shotgun here on heat race number 2, it is the 2 car of John DeMeester. So that will do it here for the starting order of heat race number 2. It's going to be the top 2 in points on the front row here. It's going to be Payne, Nichols, and it's going to be interesting here because points on the line. 5 points to heat race winner, 3 points to 2nd. So even if Payne can win, Nichols finish 2nd, there's still a 2-point advantage to be had here, even before we start the main event. See, we have a Stephen Hoffman fan out there, just finished up his heat race there in heat race number 2, brought it home 2nd, so it seems like Hoffman has some decent speed here tonight. You always love to see that 86 machine having some speed, as here we go, heat race number 2 underway, and Andrew Payne gets a great start out in front. He will get clear of Nichols. Nichols gonna try and go the long way around Dave Payne here, as they are sideways off of turn number 2. Nichols will be in fact able to slot into that 2nd position here, so it goes now Payne, Nichols, Payton, Long, Darling. No changes in anyone's position just yet. Colby Garrett here in the 48 machine trying to work around the 88 of Chuck Darling. Darling up top in that 88. Colby Garrett down low in the 48 as they get very close there at the apex of 3 and 4. And it looks like Darling maybe gets a piece of the wall there down the front stretch, but here comes the good old tried and true crossover move from the 88. Side by side once again through 3 and 4, now flipped positioning on the track, 88 down low, 48 up top. Going to be a drag race here down into turn number 1, and it is very tough to enter very low on the bottom side into 1 because there is so little banking down there that it can very easily step out the rear of these race cars, get you sideways, and kind of chasing that rear end from the start of the corner, that it can become more and more difficult, especially as you get that right rear hotter and hotter. There's a little bit of contact there at the apex, but everyone's still good. Looks like Darling finally able to complete the pass. Garrett's gonna try crossover himself, but lights up the rear tires there. Not gonna have a nose. Looks like gonna try to get there, but won't quite. So looks like Chuck Darling will hang on to that 5th position. That has allowed the top 4 to get on away and to their own battles here. Of course, just like I mentioned before, if you're tuning on in, top 4 gonna be inverted here for the 125 lap main event. So that's where you want to be, at least 4th or better if you can. Right now, 4th place position going to the 21 of Greggy Long. Dave Payne hanging on to 3rd. Zach Nichols in 2nd. Andrew Payne has led all the laps here and leading right now at the halfway point here in heat race number 2. So this track, of course, like I mentioned before, pretty tough to try and hang on to, riding on board with Zach Nichols. Let's see a lap around the North Wilkesboro Speedway here in these late model stocks, checking out the back of our race leader. And you can see just how yawed out you can run these late model stocks and still get traction. As you can hear, drive it in there very deep, get on the brakes, you know, decently hard, but still baby it. And then just working that throttle to try and get as much momentum on corner exit as you can. That time by, we saw an open palm from the flagman. It is 5 laps to go. So far, everyone where they started, except for John DeMeester in the number 2 Home Depot machine, able to get around Colby Garrett, as Garrett has a big time slide there through 3 and 4. Garrett will bring it down pit road and say, all right, that was enough of a heat race there. Want to make sure I bring a car back in one piece from the heat race here for the feature event. So everyone's still out on track except for Garrett here. This time by here at the stripe, it will be popsicle sticks up in the air for Andrew Payne. It will be 2 laps to go here for heat race number 2 of the night. Payne has led the previous 13 laps around the circuit here, looking to go sweep just like Justin Brooks did in the 33 machine in heat race number 1. So it seems like whoever can start out front, man, has that cleaner air. You heard it a lot at Darlington. Gonna hear it not as much here, but still a little bit, as it definitely seems to help here as Andrew Payne sees the white flag. Half a lap to go for the 93 machine. Payne down through 3 and 4 for the final time, and at the stripe, heat race number 2 will go to Andrew Payne. Oh man, trouble at the line. Greggy Long's gonna loop it here off of turn number 4, and that will put Chuck Darling on the front row for the 125 lapper. Long was there all race long up until the end, as Long will finish in P number 6. Heartbreak to end that one. So top 5 going to Payne, Nichols, Peyton Darling, and John DeMeester is gonna finish up in the top 5 here. Alrighty, folks. Well, one last heat race to go, and that will be here. Here is the starting lineup for heat race number 3 and the final heat race of the night. Jimmy Gauker in the Gauker Racing number 2 will lead the field to the green flag. Tis outside the 1 car. Always love to see this guy out on track. It is Tanner Tallarico. Braden Cook with an awesome qualifying lap there will roll off in P number 3 in the 038. Tis outside the 35. That is Hayden Swing. Rolling off P number 5 will be the 5 or the 14 on the car. That is Matt Kemp. And tis outside the 013 or 13 on the car. It is Zach Cold Beer Coyer. And then starting shotgun on the field here for heat race number 3. going to the 73 machine. That is Jamie Prevost. So that will do it here tonight for the starting lineup for our last heat race of the night. Heat race number 3. Getting ready to go green here. 1 to go signal from the flagman here. So we are going green next time by. So far has been all clean and green. Hopefully I don't jinx it here, folks. And hopefully we finish this one off strong and go green to checkered for all of our heat races here tonight. Front row going to be Gauker and Tallarico on the front row. Here we go, folks. The iRacing pace car will make the hard peel off down pit road, and Jimmy Gauker on the loud pedal. Tanner Tallarico gonna stay side by side with him. First time we've seen that here tonight. What can Tallarico do up on the top side? He's gonna get loose there at the apex. Braden Cook's gonna try and take advantage of this. He's going to have a half a car length advantage, and look at this, folks. Braden Cook up into P number 2. Matt Kemp now trying to get to P number 3. Top side definitely a little bit sketchy there at the start here, as Tallarico's still struggling a little bit to put that right rear planted into the racetrack, put that power down, as he is getting freight trained on the outside. Now it is Hayden Swank trying to get around the 1 car. So Tallarico up top in the 1, Hayden Swank down low in the 35. Swank's going to get loose there, though, off of turn number 2. Tallarico could have almost slammed the door, but now has the not preferred line there in 3 and 4. Preferred line definitely the bottom side in 3 and 4. Top side's usually more preferred here in 3 and 4, but with these heat races, of course, being on the shorter side, it's pretty much a sprint from the start. So from the drop of these green flags, you know, these drivers going as hard as they can for all of these 15 laps. Tallarico finally down, not side by side, but he drops all the way back to 6. So Tallarico outside of the invert. Right now the invert car here is the 35 of Hayden Swank. If Swank can hold on to this P number 4 spot, he will lead the field to the green flag here. Here now with 9 to go, Tallarico trying to go back on the charge here to the inside of Zach Coyer. Looks like Tallarico will get that spot. Now sets the sights on Hayden Swank, but here comes Coyer. We saw the crossover move work there in heat race number 2. Looks like it is working here once again. So that crossover move definitely something these drivers are going to have to keep in their back pocket and keep aware of, as Coyer big time sideways gets into Tallarico. Tallarico has to check up big time, and that will kill the 1's momentum. Tallarico once again back to the inside of the 13 machine. This time I think Tallarico's going to try and keep him up top off of turn number 2. Yes, he will not allow him to get the crossover move going, but with these two battling as hard as they are, Hayden Swank out in front of them, now a 2.5 advantage over these two. So these two are going to fight for starting, let's say, 18th or so, instead of starting on the front row with them battling as hard as they are between the two of them. You're off of turn number 4. Tallarico back clear of Coyer here, so looks like they will fall in line, but now with only 5 laps to go, it's going to be a really tall order to try and catch the 35 machine. Under 5 laps to go this time at the stripe so far. Jimmy Gauker leading all the laps here in heat race number 3. Braden Cook has held on to second. That 38 machine looking very sporty out here tonight. And Cook's driving the wheels off that thing, keeping Matt Kemp at bay behind him. As Kemp, another one of those really good drivers, participated in a few of the eNASCAR collegiate races this season in those truck series. And, you know, that goes to show just how good those guys are. Of course, another good driver in the field ex-pro driver Zach Nichols, of course, running the full season with us. So that's always very, very cool to have this level of competition throughout this whole season. That time by at the stripe for the number 2, 2 laps to go. It will be a great heat race for the 2 camp. They are going to feel good because here at the stripe, it's going to be white flag, 1 more lap to go. Jimmy Gauker almost stretches his legs out to a 2.5 advantage over the rest of the field. They're off at turn number 2. Matt Kemp putting the pressure on the back bumper of Cook, but not going to be enough. But off of turn number 4, Jimmy Gauker will pick up the heat win here in heat race number 3. Braden Cook will finish second. Awesome run for him. Matt Kemp third. Hayden Swank in fourth. Tanner Tallarico rounding out the top 5. And with that here, folks, Hayden Swank gonna lead the field to the green flag. That is definitely gonna be awesome here to watch. So we head for a quick break here tonight. Gonna give ourselves a little bit of time to get on ready, get the show rocking and rolling. So we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. On the other side, we'll be heading back to get ready for our 125 lap main event.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams, race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
And all sorts of the wrong buttons here, folks, but we are back here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway, and I tell you what, 2 minutes left to warm up. Then of course we have our 125 lap main event. So we talked a little bit about it before, gonna mention it again here coming into tonight, season championship night. So here looking at the points, Zach Nichols leads the way with 478 points. In second is Andrew Payne with 456. With the amount of cars we have, still 22 cars. So if Zach Nichols, I want to say, finishes 20th or worse, Andrew Payne could walk away with the season championship out here tonight. Ron Hart coming in third in points with 401. Jaden Kratachi not making the show here tonight. He came into tonight going to be with 389, going to stay at that point amount. Then in fifth, Jimmy Gauker should be able to pass Kratachi. Gauker came in with 383. Then it's Braxton DeWeese in sixth with 373. Tanner Tallarico coming into tonight with 358. So Tallarico has a very, very good chance of jumping into the top 5 in points. by the end of the race. So after that, right there with Tallarico, a good battle for its 7th, because Hayden Swank coming into tonight 355, just 3 points back from Tallarico. Stephen Hoffman in 9th coming in with 333 points, and then Greggy Long with 312 in 10th. Then back in 11th, I just got to mention here real quick, tied for 11th in points, 307 apiece to Braden Cook and Chuck Darling. So a top 10 points finish up in the air for a lot of different drivers. Right there as well, pretty close. Deb McDonald, 13th in points with 301. So a lot on the stake column, let's say, coming into tonight. And now we only have 125 laps to figure out how it shakes on out. It is going to be a good one here, folks. So we get ready to rock and roll here for tonight's starting lineup as we get ready to head down to the grid. So here we go, folks, for tonight's starting grid for our championship night. Hayden Swank in the 35 machine plays the invert right. He will start on the pole, lead the field to green. To his outside will be the 88 of Chuck Darling. He will start on the front row as well. Rolling off in P number 3 will be the 5 car. That is Tim Rogers. In 4th will be Matt Kemp in the 14 or the 005 in the timing scoring. Rounding out the top 5 for the starting grid will be the 38. That is Dave Payton. Starting in 6th will be the 51. That is Ron Hart. 7th going to Braden Cook in the 038. 8th is Zach Nichols in the 44 machine. 9th going to the 86 of Stephen Hoffman. Rounding out the top 10 is the 2 machine or the 02 of Jimmy Gauker. Starting in P number 11 will be the 93 of Andrew Payne. 12th going to tonight's quick time qualifier, the 33 of Justin Brooks. Starting in 13th is Deb McDonald in the 18. 14th going to the 2 of John DeMeester. 15th going to the 1 of Tanner Tallarico. TJ Hansen will start 16th. 17th going to Greggy Long. 18th is Zach Coyer. 19th is Mike McCaskill. 20th going to Colby Garrett. 21st Jamie Prevost and Andrew Hardings rounding out the field here tonight. 22 cars will start the battle here in North Wilkesboro. Who will be the one to hoist the checkered flag when it's all said and done? Can it be Justin Brooks going for 2 in a row? Can it be Zach Nichols going with another win on the season? Nichols coming into tonight, I have to double check, has 4 wins. Can he make it a 5th? Will Justin Brooks go 2 in a row? Will we see a first-time winner, or will we see one of those repeat? We'll find out here in a short amount of time here. As here we go, lights, of course, on the pace car. That's signaling at least still pacing, but it should be out. Yes, it is this time by. Lights go out, so we get ready to do battle for 125 laps. It's going to be Swank, Darling on the front row, and I believe both these guys looking for their first win in this series. Sorry, Hayden Swank has visited victory lane once. Chuck Darling has yet to visit victory lane so far this season in the late model stocks. What a night it would be if that 88 here heads down there, but here we go. Hayden Swank in command of the field and off of turn number 4. Contact here at the start. Big time junk here as, oh man, that is a majority of the field there, and that started, I want to say that started with maybe the 51 and the 05. So that didn't take long at all here. Gonna go back to the restart here and look at Ron Hart, try and see what happened here. See if maybe Matt Kemp missed a gear or what exactly happened, because like we saw there, just a big stack of pace car comes in. Hayden Swank in control of the restart here. So looking at it very, very slow, trying to see what exactly happened. Oh, it looks like Darling was maybe sleeping just a tiny bit. That sends the 14 into the back of the 88. Dave Payton, an innocent bystander. It looks like Stephen Hoffman gets a piece of it. Then further on back, Tanner Tallarico, Greggy Long, Zach Coyer all involved. Zach Nichols gets turned around. TJ Hansen is involved as well. Man, a big time calamity as we take a look one more time here, try and get a different view, looking at it full speed here. As yeah, that is the calamity there on the front stretch. As it looks like when it all gets cycled on out, it looks like Dave Payne going to get trapped behind the pace car. Should get the wave around with 1 lap to go here. So here with 1 to go, we're going to try another restart. Now it's going to be Swank Tim Rogers on the front row as Dave Payne gets his lap back here. So we will have to see how this one shakes out. A rocky start for that initial start, but we'll see how this one goes off as Swank once again in charge of the field. First caution coming out here very, very early, as it looks like people not quite set in the back of the field. So we will extend it one more time, make sure everyone's in the right spot, make sure race control is happy where people are at. It looks like that is the case now here, as looks like Ron Hart to the back of the field. I believe Ron Hart with the claim here. So Ron Hart tapping on the roof. He will restart in the back. Was going to restart 6th. Now starts all the way back, I think around 20th position. As here we go again. First restart of the night here on lap number 6. Hayden Swank gets away. A lot better start for most of the field as we go green flag racing for the first time here at North Wilkesboro. Feature event underway. Battle for second there just for a moment. Rogers gonna get clear now. Cook trying to cook something up on the top side of Chuck Darling. That is a battle for the 3rd position here on the speedway. Yeah, drivers with some sort of issue there. It looks like, I believe Matt Kemp and Greggy Long both trapped 1 lap down here at the moment. There are lucky dogs here, so they just have to wait for some future yellows, get their laps back, but their race strategies definitely change here early as we keep an eye on this battle for the 2nd position. Cook still trying to find something up top. Chuck Darling down low, and Cook has to be careful. A long line of cars right behind him here racing this inside lane. That being Stephen Hoffman, Andrew Payne. It was Jimmy Gauker, but Gauker now goes to the top side of Payne. Gauker maybe saying it's maybe a little bit of go time here, maybe trying to experiment a little bit with some different lines in case he needs to race it. So looks like he will slot back to the bottom side. Further on back, points leader Zach Nichols trying to recarve his way through the field. Nichols now trying to get 13th position from Mike McCaskill. McCaskill up top, Nichols down low. Tallarico trying to follow suit, same with Matt Kemp as well. Kemp at the moment furthest car towards the front for that lucky dog position, but he has to be careful because Greggy Long sits right behind him here. So It could be either of those drivers here with the lucky dog, depending on how they race here. Further up front here, Chuck Darling able to get clear for that third position. Now Stephen Hoffman tries to work over Cook. As look at this, Justin Brooks making it 3 wide. Wow, what a move from Brooks. He is wasting no time to try and get through the field. An aggressive move here early by Brooks, but that shows one thing: this 33 wants to get to the front, and he wants to do it in a hurry. Justin Brooks now to the inside of Andrew Payne, and it looks like we get our second caution of the day out on the speedway, trying to see what happened. Oh, here's the stop cars. It looks like Zach Coyer involved. Mike McCaskill slow on the speedway as well. So we will try and see what happened, as it looks like Zach Coyer brings it pit side. It looks like Mike McCaskill drops it down to pit road here very quickly. So we take a look here, looking at the replay, full speed here off of turn number 2, and oh, it looks like Mike McCaskill just tank slaps the wall. Oh man, a big time hit for, wow, the 13 machine of Zach Coyer. Coyer get shot into the opening there. We're going to take a look at it, see if we can get a different camera view, but that is a big time hit for the 13 machine as he gets sent outside pocket here off of turn number 2 and down the backstretch here. As yeah, right there, wow, what a big hit. As luckily Jamie Prevost, John DeMeester, and Dave Payne do a great job at avoiding that incident, because like that hit there to the wall for the 13 of Zach Coyer, you know, that car stops instantly. So it comes down to very, very quick reflexes, as it looks like here at Greggy Long gonna get a lap back as well. Some cars down on pit road, one of them being our points leader. Zach Nichols gonna shoot out of pit road, same with Matt Kemp. Looks like Kemp back on the lead lap here. So at the moment, it's only Mike McCaskill and then a retired Zach Coyer out of the race. So at the moment, 21 cars still out on the racetrack. But yeah, Zach Coyer, his night's going to be done after a big time hit to that outside wall opening. Hayden Swank going to have the choose here on this second restart. Going to once again choose the inside lane. So Hayden Swank going to lead the field back to green. Tim Rogers once again on the outside. And here we go. We go racing back into turn number 1. A great start once again for Swank. He will get clear. Tim Rogers will be clear himself in second. And how about that? A power move from the outside. Stephen Hoffman into P number 3 around the long way of Chuck Darling. Now Darling's going to be under fire from the 33 machine of Justin Brooks. We saw how quick Brooks is out here at this racetrack, and Brooks now trying to get up into P number 4. Andrew Payne going to try and follow suit and get his nose to the inside of the 88. It looks like he will by the time to get into turn number 1. Battle for 5th position right here, looking 88 of Chuck Darling up on the top side, down low 93 of Andrew Payne. Top 4 all single filed out last time by best lap by anyone, Justin Brooks, 18.97. Only car in the 18s, the 33 machine of Brooks. So that man is on a mission to the front. This battle for 5th still rages on here. Darling up top, Payne down low. Have not been able to get separated from each other here. As everyone else behind pretty much single filed out here at the moment. So Darling doing a great job of defending those spots up top. Payne almost clear, but looks like not quite. So now Dev McDonald going to try and go to the inside of the 88 of Chuck Darling. We ride on board with Darling, looking back from that left rear cam. Now looking at the 48 of Colby Garrett. Man, Garrett sideways there off at turn number 4. And he's got to be careful, as 2 fast race cars behind him. That being Braden Cook and Tanner Tallarico now. As Darling here restarted in the 3rd position. Oh, had to check up big time there. Not sure what happened in front of him. I think Stephen Hoffman, a moment for the 86, he falls back all the way to, I want to say, the 7th position. So I think some sort of contact maybe with Hoffman and Justin Brooks, because that was the only car close to the 86. As Hoffman, man, if he got sideways, that would be a heck of a save, because we see how loose this race car is. Now Hoffman, Garrett gonna lean on each other there off of turn number 2. Hoffman will hang on to P number 6 here, so that spreads out the top 6 here. This battle's still going on. Now Colby Garrett under fire to his outside by Braden Cook. Cook trying to go the long way around the top side here of the 48. Zach Hoyer back out on the racetrack, so Mike McCaskill currently sits 2 laps down. Oh, contact there as Colby Garrett washes big time wide on the entry of 1, gets into the left front quarter panel of Braden Cook. I'm sure Cook not going to be happy with that, as now Garrett gets filed to the outside as Tanner Tallarico trying to go around the 48. Side by side here for 7th. It looks like Tallarico will get clear as Garrett and Cook both in the wall. Cook again in the wall, as here comes Chuck Darling after losing those positions. Finally back on the bottom side, but all the way currently in P number 9. So 2 quick yellows to start the night so far on the longest run of the night out here, as further up front, Justin Brooks getting around Tim Rogers for that 2nd position. Looks like probably Rogers just giving him the spot, realizing what's at stake here, as we have cars under a blanket 2x2, 4 rows deep, right on the cusp of the top 10. Man, some great racing right here, folks. Darling finally going to be able to get clear, so move the 88 back up into P number 8, as now Jimmy Gauker trying to get around Colby Garrett. Gauker gets loose here, and here comes Zach Nichols. Will think about a move, will think better of it. As Zach Hoyer just going to pull it to the top side of the racetrack, out of everyone's way. Really appreciate that a lot from the 13 machine, as that now allows Colby Garrett to get back down on the bottom side of the racetrack. Here comes now Jimmy Gauker to the outside, as Garrett got a little bit loose there off of turn number 2, but able to keep the momentum by the time they get through 3 and 4. Oh man, there, Andrew Harding's big time in the wall in that 45 machine. It seems like Harding got that internet under control. He sits 16th, so just outside of the top 15 there, as yeah, Colby Garrett once again big time sideways there off of turn number 2. Garrett's getting that right rear hot, losing it here early. He's got to be careful, because there's still about 90 laps left in this race. Out in front though, battle for the race lead. Justin Brooks looking to the inside of Hayden Swank. Swank has led all 38 laps so far here, but here comes Justin Brooks trying to get back to the lead. If Brooks gets this lead here, folks, it's going to be a very tall order to get on around him. Has a little bit of contact there, just some good old elbows out, short track racing, as Brooks just gives Swank a little bit of contact. Some more contact though off of turn number 2. These guys leaning on each other a little bit more as they're off of turn number 2. Brooks going to take the lead. Swank gonna try the crossover move. Brooks now up top with the momentum. Looks like we'll get clear here. So Justin Brooks, our new race leader here on lap 40. Aiden Swank will slot into second, and right behind them, Andrew Payne gets around Tim Rogers for the third position. Stephen Hoffman there with that contact early on with that save, able to claw back up, back into the top 5, currently running 5th. Devin McDonald has cycled out to 6th. 7th going to Tanner Tallarico. 8th is Chuck Darling. Jimmy Gauker 9th. And this guy right here, Zach Nichols, back into the top 10. Nichols doesn't have to win this race, just has to finish well enough to walk away with the championship. Field continuing to spread on out here. Leaders about a half a track back from lap traffic. Hayden Swank big time sideways into turn number 1. I think may have gotten some contact with Andrew Payne. Payne, of course, backs way on out of it. But man, that could have been very bad for 2 front runners here. Looking back a little bit further, Zach Nichols has been putting on the pressure on Jimmy Gauker. Looks like here in 1 and 2, they'll go side by side here. Gauker not making this pass easy here to his teammates, so kind of surprised by that because there's still over 75 laps left in this race. Right now, we're looking at a battle for 9 side-by-side racing action here between the 44 of Nichols and the 020 of Jimmy Gauker. Still side by side. Nichols has been slowly working up the track there in 1 and 2, trying to get as much racetrack as he can. Because as you can see, top side is where it's at in 1 and 2. Car's not nearly as sideways as, you know, when you're down low, you got to put that little bit extra wheel to get that car turned, keep it off the car on top of you. But when you do that extra wheel, it takes you a little bit longer to get to the throttle. You can try and throttle up where you normally do, but that usually kicks out the rear end, breaks the traction in the rear tires, and makes that pass so much more difficult. Whereas 3 and 4, that bottom side is a little bit more banked. So as you see, Nichols riding Gauker way up the racetrack on corner entry and exit. These two still leaning, still get together. Oh man, trouble for our points leader, racing hard with his teammate, and they make significant contact, especially Zach Nichols. Wow, we saw that brewing as Nichols slowly crept up the track racing with Jimmy Gauker. And then finally, a lot of contact off of turn number 2. And the lid came blown off the top there. We take a look here once again off of turn number 2, taking a look at the contact here. You can see Nichols right on the door with Gauker, puts him almost in the wall, and then Gauker stays on that door, and then they kind of get hooked together. That sends Nichols hard right on corner entry. Gauker is thinking, you know, I got to make this turn, and they get together. Gauker kind of turns right into the door of the 44, and look at this here, folks. It's busy down pit road. Wow. Interesting call. Our leader, Justin Brooks, led half the field down to pit road, as more than half now as more cars continue to cycle down on pit road. It looks like Jimmy Gauker with the claim there. But wow. So when it cycles out here, folks, Justin Brooks on pit road here on lap 50. It looks like just taking 2 tires. So it looks like at the moment the 33 will restart 6th. So that means our top 5 staying on out on old tires. That being Andrew Payne, Tanner Tallarico, Greggy Long, Braden Cook, and Colby Garrett. Lights go out around the North Wilkesboro Speedway here under our third caution. So third restart of the night coming up here. Andrew Payne gonna lead the field to the green flag. He will elect the outside lane here on the restart. I'll put Tanner Tallarico inside of the front row. So it's gonna be a Payne Tallarico restart on the front row. iRacing pace car comes on in, and here we go. We go green flag racing. A great start by Andrew Payne, Tanner Tallarico. Gonna have some pressure here as Justin Brooks. An incredible restart from that 6th position. He is up into 4th here and looking for 2nd very quickly. Brooks' furthest car up on new rubber. Then the next is Dev McDonald, Tim Rogers, Andrew Hardings, kind of on the lower end of the top 10-ish here. Brooks going to take his time here, knows he has a gap of older tires behind him here as Tallarico tries to get clear of Cook. This is allowing one thing to happen though, Andrew Payne to pull on away with the lead. Payne probably says, you know what, I love to see these guys battling like this here. Looks like trouble for a race car out here. Dave Payton out on pit road. It looks like done for the night. So Payton might be scored last here tonight. Zach Boyer, of course, back out on track. Mike McCaskill out on track. Looks like TJ Hansen 1 lap down as well as McCaskill. So Tallarico able to get clear here. Now Justin Brooks to the inside. Brooks gonna make quick work to the inside of the one as we ride on board with Tallarico. So now Justin Brooks on those fresh tires sets his sights back to the race lead. And close racing there into turn number 3 between the 21 and the 038. As well, Greggy Long there that time clears himself there off of turn number 4, goes right to the wall. Cook will get a big time. Colby Garrett once again sideways out here on the racetrack. He's still trying to hang on to that right rear. Last time by, best time by anyone out on the speedway, that being Justin Brooks here. As further up towards the front, Dev McDonald trying to make use of those newer tires, getting around Greggy Long for that 4th position here. So besides Justin Brooks, it is Dev McDonald with the newer tires. And here we go. Justin Brooks going to make the pass easy for the race lead once again. Justin Brooks out in front. And I like that call from Andrew Payne. Payne knowing that Brooks is coming on new tires. Not going to fight him, give up time. Going to say, you know what, I'm going to go let you go in this one corner, try and slide on in behind you. As besides Dev McDonald, next car with some good tires on it. That is this side-by-side battle here between Hayden Swank and Andrew Hardings. Both these guys down on pit road last time. Swank taking 4 tires, Andrew Hardings just taking 2. So we'll have to see how that sorts itself out by the end of here. As Swank will get around Hardings. Hardings makes contact with Zach Nichols there down the backstretch. Luckily, both cars able to keep their cars facing in the right direction here. And now we get into the second half of tonight's race. Just passing the halfway point here. Justin Brooks back out in front as we take a look at Andrew Hardings here trying to hang on to a spot inside of the top 10. Harding's gonna have to try and get down to this inside lane as quickly as possible, but Chuck Darling gonna fill that spot here as we take a look right in front of them. Hayden Swank on those newer tires, gonna try and get around Greggy Long. As oh, we got a caution. The 48 machine of Colby Garrett around here in turn 3 and 4. So that will make it really interesting. About 15 laps on those tires. Does that invite, you know, the 5 guys that did not pit to come down pit road? We'll have to wait and see. But taking a look to see what brought out our 4th caution of the night here. Looking at the 48 machine of Colby Garrett. Garrett heading down into turns 1 and 2. And oh, just get straight into the back of Ron Hart here. Hart will end up spinning that car down on the apron. And Garrett will get on the binders before Hart can get hit a second time. So contact between the 48 and the 51 there. So yeah, with this caution, it will split the field once again. Andrew Payne gonna stay on out. Tanner Tallarico gonna stay on out. But then the 3 other cars that stayed on out the last time, there's 5 in total. The other 3 coming down pit road this time, that being Tim Rogers, Greggy Long, and I believe Colby Garrett as well. So that only leaves 2 cars yet to pit here tonight. One of them being the 93 machine of Andrew Payne, the other being the one of Tanner Tallarico. We did have a claim on that yell. We did have a claim on that one here, folks. It looks like Colby Garrett did claim that yellow, so Colby Garrett tapping on the roof. That, of course, signals that he'll restart at the back of the field here. So here we go at the stripe. Justin Brooks gonna have lane choice here. Looks like we'll choose the inside lane on the restart. That will put Payne up top of row number 1. So it's gonna be a Brooks Payne front row restart. So here on this 4th restart of the night, Zach Nichols gonna restart in 16th position. So Nichols gonna have his work cut out for him because Andrew Payne, like I mentioned, restarting up in 2nd. So here we go. We wait for Brooks to fire. Here we go, riding on board with Andrew Payne, going through the gears. Looks like Payne will be able to get clear in 2nd position. Will slot in front of the one of Tallarico. Tallarico going to be under heavy fire, though. A lot of new tires sitting right behind that number 1 machine. And with the field bunched on up, we can do it here tonight, and I say let's do it. I'm going to take a break from talking and do a little turn 3, turn it up here from North Wilkesboro. As maybe not, as we get a caution right when I try and go there. So we will stay under me yapping to you guys some more as we see the 2 car of Jimmy Gauker, heat race number 3 winner, stopped here on the backstretch. So we're going to see what happened to Jimmy Gauker. As old man John DeMeester maybe got on the apron. No, just not the apex speed that the 2 of Gauker, the blue and white 2, getting into the orange and black number 2 there. I think Gauker just misjudged the closing rate just a little bit, and Gauker will end up spinning there on the backstretch, and that bringing out our 5th caution of the night. Gauker finally able to get a clear track, get it rocking and rolling, and I believe Gauker with the claim on that one. So not only does the 2 of Gauker have to restart in the back with the claim, but also will be trapped 1 lap down as well. Ron Hart that time by our lucky dog candidate, so that puts the 51 of Hart back on the lead lap. So I believe the only cars, I think there's now 3 of them 1 lap down. that being Mike McCaskill, Colby Garrett, and Jimmy Gauker. So those three cars going to be fighting each other for that wave around spot. But out in front, top 10 looking like the following: Justin Brooks leading the way, Andrew Payne in second, Tanner Tallarico third, Devin McDonald sits in fourth, fifth going to Hayden Swing. Sitting in P number 6 is Stephen Hoffman, 7th Chuck Darling, 8th Andrew Hardings, 9th Tim Rogers, and then it is Greggy Long here, I believe, rounding out the top 10. As this time Justin Brooks gonna switch things on up. Brooks gonna choose the outside lane to lead the field to green. Now put fresh tires right behind him in the 18 of Devin McDonald. Puts the two lonely cars yet to pit road, Payne and Tallarico, together down low. As here we go, Justin Brooks in control of another restart. Brooks fires on off, and we go back to green flag racing in the second half of championship night here at North Wilkesboro. Payne able to get clear by himself in second. They will continue to race for third as Andrew Hardings into the wall big time down the backstretch. Hardings will once again maybe just get a piece of it here as everyone's still trying to duke it on out. Tallarico going to be clear for maybe just 1 second, but maybe not for too long here. As cars slipping and sliding out here tonight. And maybe now we can do a little turn 3, turn it up. So while everyone tries to fight for every position they can, we'll let the cars do the talking with a little turn 3, turn it up. Laps continue to fly on by here at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. One car we saw way out of the group, way up top in 3 and 4. That was the 21 machine of Greggy Long. Long fell all the way back to 11th position here at the moment. As Chuck Darling gets sent up the racetrack there. Darling will somehow hang on to the race car, but yeah, definitely got sent off the nose of, not sure what car it was, but definitely got sent up the racetrack, and Darling not happy with that move. And I don't blame him if I'm being honest. Up in front though, Justin Brooks continuing to lead the way here as we get closer to the end of the race. Andrew Payne able to hang on to second with those old tires. Same story for the one in P number 3, Tanner Tallarico, also on those old tires, hanging on to third. I think the newness may have worn off those tires out here tonight. First car on the freshest set of tires, last down on lap 74. That is Zach Nichols, able to get that car pretty well repaired. And Nichols at the moment sits P number 8. I think the way that it sits, Nichols good enough to walk away with this championship if he can hang on to a top 10 finish. Nichols trying to put pressure on the back bumper of Hayden Swink, but he has to be careful. Has a fast Greggy Long right on his back bumper as well. At the moment, Zach Corey still sits about 10 laps down. Dave Payne out of tonight's race. That's 21st and 20th. As Andrew Harding's here off of turn number 4, spins the 45 machine around, and we'll park it here as he'll try and get that thing rocking and rolling. He will get out to the outside of the wall, get that thing turned around, facing in the right direction. But let's see what happened to Andrew Harding's. Oh man, kind of just lit up the rear tires on corner exit and was never able to get the back of the car back underneath him, and just spun it on his own there off of turn number 4. As here we go, looking back through the field, a few takers down on pit road. We saw Andrew Harding's there in that 45 machine bring out the 6 caution. He comes on down, gets some damage repair. Looks like same with the 14 or the 005 of Matt Kemp. He also comes down pit road, and I think at this point here, you're done coming down to pit road, because when we go back green, it'll probably be about a 30 lap shootout to the end of this one, folks. So with that spin, doesn't change anything in the top 5, still stays the same, but it moves up Hayden Swank to 6th, Zach Nichols to 7th, Greggy Long to 8th, Braden Cook to 9th, and then Tim Rogers up in the top 10. This time by, once again, Justin Brooks having the choice of the choose, and just like the previous restart, gonna choose the outside lane, so that will put Payne on the inside of the front row. Once again, like we saw the last couple restart here, folks, it's gonna be a Brooks Payne front row restart. And once we fire them back off, it's gonna be a 30 lap shootout to the end of this one. Oh man, folks, this is where it gets wild. A lot on the line, championship night, as the iRacing pace car here heads down pit road. Justin Brooks in control, gonna fire off early and once again get a killer restart out in front. Andrew Payne gonna have Devin McDonald hanging on the right rear quarter panel. Looks like Payne won't quite get clear down the backstretch. Through 3 and 4 though, inside line preferred. He will get clear there off of turn number 4 for the 93 machine. Now Tanner Tallarico trying to work the inside of the 18 further on back. Stephen Hoffman and Greggy Long go door number to door number here through 3 and 4. As, oh man, we get a few cars here stopped on the backstretch. Oh, you hate to see it. The 47 machine of TJ Hansen. Heavy damage. You can see the smoke coming out of the back of that race car. I think also the 45 machine of Andrew Harding's also involved as well. As, oh man, that started up a little bit further. As, yeah, it looks like TJ Hansen, oh man, another vicious hit to the outside wall. But yeah, it looks like Mike McCaskill gets into the side of TJ Hansen, and Hansen, yeah, into the opening. We saw that earlier with Coyer, man, a big time hit. And then the 45 of Andrew Harding's having kind of nowhere to go. Let's try and ride on board with the 45 of Harding's. Seeing what he sees, all of a sudden a car gonna appear right on the nose, and he's gonna lock it on down to the grass. So yeah, a tough break for TJ Hansen there, getting hit in the left rear there by I think the 03 machine, and then into the opening on the backstretch. So 7 cautions here tonight. A little bit more than I would like to see here, but most of them just been a few car incidents besides the big one to start the feature here tonight. Alrighty, sorry about that there, folks, as we get ready to go back. Green flag racing, Justin Brooks once again choosing the outside lane here with 24 laps to go. We go back to green flag racing. This time, Tanner Tallarico had to start in the 4th position, but gets a great start on the top side. He will almost get clear. Yes, he will. He'll get clear of Devin McDonald here down the backstretch. So Tallarico back up into 3rd. Here comes now Greggy Long up top, trying to make something happen here late in the race. Long and McDonald gonna go door number to door number. It's gonna be a drag race here off of turn number 2. Give the advantage by a nose to Devin McDonald. Still side by side for this battle for 4th. This is allowing the top 3 to slowly drive on away here, as these guys know it is go time. You got to take whatever is given to you out on the racetrack. As, oh man, Greggy Long tries to fill the hole. He will get tagged by Hayden Swank. Hayden Swank doing nothing wrong there. I think Long really wanted to get to the bottom, or maybe just got loose, but wow. What a save by that one. A great save by the 35 and the 21 machine, but now we go to 20 laps to go. Justin Brooks continues to lead out in front. Braden Cook now trying to rock and roll around the high side here. This is a battle for the 8th position here as Hank Swank, tries to defend as much as he can. Justin Brooks has had full sails deployed. He has set sail on the field. A 2nd advantage to the 33 machine. He's hoping to see no more yellows by the end of this one. As right in front of this battle, Stephen Hoffman a little bit in the wall there on corner entry. Zach Nichols, this man in the 44, has fought his way back up into the top 5 once again. We've seen it many of times this season. This guy having to battle for adversity, have to go to the back maybe even a couple of times, start deep in the field with the invert. But it seems like more times than not, by the end of these races, this 44 machine heads back up towards the front and gets a solid effort. There's a reason why this guy was leading the points coming into tonight. And once again, putting on another great show. Further on back, single filing on out, but we have a side-by-side battle for a top 10 finish as Braden Cook under fire from the 88 of Chuck Darling. Darling down low, Cook up top, right behind them. Colby Garrett, Ron Hart, Matt Kemp, all in an intense battle as well. As old man Kemp will get a big piece of the wall there off at turn number 4. As these guys still duking it on out. Kemp trying to find some momentum up top. This time has more of a lane there to the top side of the 48. Further up towards the front here, Andrew Payne, pace falling off of the 93 car, lets the one of Tallarico go up top. Right behind them, Zach Nichols into the back of Deb McDonald. Now gets a shot from the 21. More contact as Greggy Long sideways. They go 3 wide. Wow, they still continue to touch. How did no one wreck there? Wow, what incredible driver from that field. And yeah, I'm sure Deb McDonald not happy how he got raced there. As yeah, he got used a little bit up by Zach Nichols and got used up by Greggy Long as well. As soon as the 21 got to the back bumper, just sent the bumper to the back of the 18 machine. Going to be interesting here as that time by for the field. 2 open palms from the flag man. It is 10 laps to go. Tanner Tallarico up into second. Andrew Payne continue to hold on to third. Zach Nichols though up into fourth, putting pressure on our third place finish, or runner, let's say. Battle for a podium finish and chat with me after the race here as Nichols will look to the inside of Payne. Payne knows he has a lot to race for here. Wants to at least end the season in front of the 44 machine if he can't beat him on points. Greggy Long gonna send it in there deep. Get right to the door, Stephen Hoffman. More contact as Hoffman gets sent into the wall by Greggy Long. Wow, Greggy Long, and now gets into the back of Nichols. Man, Greggy Long is dropping the plow as further on back. Contact between Colby Garrett and Matt Kemp. As, oh man, some extra there as Colby Garrett goes on around into turn number 1, but let's take a look, see what brought out that yellow flag there. As yeah, this was the contact here off of turn number 4 there, and you can see Colby Garrett, I'm going to take a look at it one more time, was writing down the caution lap number there. Colby Garrett getting onto the curb, loses the front end, and yeah, just tags the left rear of the 14 machine of Kemp, sends him sideways down into the corner there. So not what our front runners wanted to see, because with this, it's going to be kind of an unofficial green-white checkered. It's going to be a green-green-white checkered by the end of this. So it's going to be a big-time shootout. Once again, being led by the 33 J-Bo Designs, JustinBrooksDesigns.com, 33 machine of Justin Brooks. I tell you what, he always another one of these awesome iRacing painters out here. As he always rocks up with some great looking race cars, and you don't see this too often on a late model, the old Cadillac emblem on the nose of that 33 machine. Yeah, they're treating it like it's derby time. Hopefully that's not the case for the shootout to the end, but we know it is going to be all take and no give. So if there's a chance of some derby time, it's going to be right here, Ken. Because here we go. Justin Brooks going to choose the inside on the restart, and it's going to be an unofficial green-white checkered here. They do have one attempt at a green-white checkered after this, but I'm keeping my fingers crossed up here in the booth that we make it to the end. We're going to go sit in the stands on the front stretch for this restart. It's going to be a Brooks Tallarico front row restart. Here we go. iRacing pace car heads off, and the 33 on the loud pedal. The field will dive down into turn number 1 side by side for second. Payne down low, Tallarico up top, Zach Nichols trying to find any sort of open track that he can get. It's going to be a race to the finish here As off of turn number 4, we see the white flag. We're racing back to the stripe. Tallarico in second. Payne gets turned by Long. Long gets turned. They collide. Big calamity in turn number 1. Andrew Payne up and over. And off of turn number 4, it is going to be Justin Brooks going 2 in a row. Wow. Man, some derby time there, Ken. You predicted it right, but man, an exciting finish to end things. Oh, Justin Brooks shows up 2 times at the end of the season, goes 2 in a row. Tanner Tallarico does not pit, finishes second. And then our champion, Zach Nichols, rounds out the podium. So usually I interview from third, second, and first, but tonight we're going to do second, first, and Zach Nichols last. As here we go, Justin Brooks on the front stretch, gonna burn it down for the second week in a row. Justin Brooks burning this thing down. He's trying to go the whole distance of North Wilkesboro. He's made it to the backstretch here. As yeah, that guy doing an incredible burnout. We got to keep the camera on this here before we go, at least till he gets to that opening that we've seen a few cars end their nights with here on the backstretch. But don't go anywhere, folks. We have a lot still to cover. Top 3 interviews as well as our champion for 2025 season number 1 of the Postma Flooring Late Model Stocks. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back.
iRacing is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all around the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics, engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 170,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsports organizations like NASCAR to deliver virtual races based on the real-life NASCAR Cup Series, as well as many other series on the NASCAR ladder. iRacing also features team racing, providing a variety of options for members to create and manage their own teams. Race with friends or real-world teammates in full-length endurance events like the 24 Hours of Daytona, Spa 24, or the Bathurst 12 Hour. Additional partners include IMSA, World of Outlaws, Supercars, and IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own Indianapolis 500, Bathurst 1000, Chili Bowl, and many more iconic events. This is iRacing, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car. Sign up today at iRacing.com.
Alrighty, folks, we come back to the post-race show here tonight from North Wilkesboro Speedway, and the first driver we'll be talking to tonight is our runner-up finisher, that being the one car of Tanner Tallarico. So we'll see if he can get a copy. Tanner, do you got a copy? It's Brett the Jet in the booth here.
Gotcha.
Alrighty, my man. How are we feeling after 125 laps? For that to come down to a green-white checker there, you had to be eyes glued to that rearview mirror.
Yeah, it felt pretty good, honestly. It was, I don't know if it was more so out the rearview mirror or just out the front, trying to not realize what's behind me. So obviously you get guys like Zach and stuff back there on fresh tires. It's going to be a hard thing to defend, and just hit my mark and tried to run the bottom as best I could, and it worked out. But I told you before the race I was going to show you what saving tires is all about. I didn't pit, and we hung on and somehow squeaked out another podium, so I'll take it. And just a great car track combo. I know we had a couple late race cautions and stuff, but those few long green flag runs we had were incredible from the driver's seat.
Yeah, that it was, Tanner. And like you said, you told me before the race, watch this. You were one of two drivers that did not pit. Was that the game plan going on Ford's? Because at lap 50, we saw over half the field duck on in.
I would say it started out that way. Once we kind of got rolling, and all those guys pit at lap 50, and I was thinking that I wanted to at least go to halfway. And just the way the cautions and stuff, I didn't really get that opportunity. But on a couple of the restarts, I was watching my lap times and stuff, and I was actually running faster on old tires than I was on new tires. So it kind of worked out. I was down there talking with Zach and Justin in the waiting room, and kind of told them that I thought I was actually going to be okay up until about 25-ish laps to go. It felt like they really cliffed on me, and it was a very noticeable change in the way the car was driving. It was really all four corners stuck really well, and then kind of as the tires wore, I started to lose the right front a little bit, and it just started getting a little tight on me. But it all worked out, and cautions fell just at the right time for me to hang on. But I think if we probably would have had 2 or 3 more, I probably wouldn't be talking to you. So it all worked out.
Yeah, and cautions definitely played a big part in tonight's end of the race. Were you excited or disappointed to see that last yellow to set up an unofficial green-white checkered, knowing that you had the tire disadvantage?
Well, I don't know. I mean, me and Andrew are working pretty well together, and Andrew was big picture racing right there before that last caution, and I think he might have known that I probably saved a little bit better, so he kind of let me go around the top, and really from there, I knew there was going to be no catching Justin. He's just, when you get somebody of Justin's skill set on 50-lap tire advantage, you're just, at least for me, I'm not going to be able to catch him. So I was settled into second, and I was good with that, and I was content to finish where I was at, and then, yeah, that last caution comes out, and, you just never know what's going to happen on these late race restarts, and just kept telling myself if I can, not have anybody in front of me and just focus on clean racetrack, and whether it's Justin right in front of me or nobody, like, that's going to be the way to go, and just not pay attention to what's going on behind me, and it all worked out. So, yeah, I'm, like I say, content to finish where I did. I think that's like 4 or 5 straight podium finishes to end the season, and just had the worst luck to begin with, but I guess we kind of made up for it on the second half. So yeah, I'm ecstatic and ready for a quick, 3-week break, 4-week break, whatever it is, well needed, and look forward to re-ramping up and doing it all again here shortly.
Yeah, doing it all again, we definitely will. And yeah, Tanner, like you mentioned, an up and down start of the season, some good finishes taken away from you very late in races. Here, second half, like you said, putting stuff together. And with that, you're able to come home 5th in points, so still a top 5 finish, even with all that up and down to start off the year. That's got to feel pretty good, especially with the competition we've had every week in this series.
Yeah, it's definitely a competitive series, and you get runs like I had at the start of the season where it just feels like the bad luck is every single week, and it doesn't matter what you do, where you position your car, what your pitch strategy is, it finds you some way somehow. It's really demoralizing, honestly, and I know people look at this as a sim and stuff, but it's still 2 hours out of your night every single week that you try to practice for and put a lot of effort into trying to improve, and you kind of get that taken away when it comes to the bad luck. So, but you just got to keep persevering, man. It always works out in the end. I'm a firm believer in the deposit and withdrawals mindset when it comes to racing. For everything that gets taken away from you in some way, shape, or form, it'll get given back. So, like I said, if we just had all of our bad luck deposits or withdrawals, however that would work out, we had all that bad luck at the first half of the season, it all kind of came back to us the second half. So yeah, it'll work out. I'll take the top 5 points finish, and like I say, I can't be too upset given the way the first half of the season went. It really made up for it the second half.
Yeah, that it did, my man. Always great chatting with you, and Yeah, like you said, man, perseverance, the name of the game. Even in a 12-week series, anything can happen when we load into these sessions, especially the short track racing where it's such close racing that, it can take a lot out of you. But, when you get stuff rolling in the right direction, man, it's a feeling that's hard to beat, right?
Yeah, it's just, you sit there and you just keep getting beat down, beat down, beat down, and like I say, you just got to keep coming back and doing what you can. And we didn't get a win this season, which sucks. It's always fun to go to victory lane. I joke around with you guys a lot and say I'm getting like iRacing washed up or whatever. But if I can get podium finishes for 4 or 5 races in a row over a win, I'd almost rather have that as far as points allocation and whatnot. So yeah, it all worked out. I'm happy with how the season finished, and Justin, I think Justin's planning on coming to run with us next season. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Zach, obviously, the champion, is a force every single week. So, yeah, going into next season, just hopefully we can start off with the momentum that we got right now and, carry it a little bit further and see how stuff shakes out.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. One kind of last big point I want to touch on with you, because, always love chatting with you, picking your brain. This is your first real time running a short track series here with ASRC. Usually that's always been dedicated to Wednesday nights, a series that you go in the booth, admin, it's your baby. But now you get to come out, race some short track racing again. How was the season overall for you, going from kind of the NASCAR bigger side stuff to now being back to the grassroots racing here on iRacing?
Oh, I love it. I mean, it's great. I've been on iRacing for quite a while now, and I always kind of made my focus around the NASCAR stuff, and I've really grown to just love the short track side. I mean, I've always really never disliked it. Just, it was something that was different and was a nice pastime, kind of change of pace from what I was doing. That's kind of why we started the league up, and there's a lot of following behind the short track stuff. The, short track drivers are really, really dedicated to short track racing, and now that I'm able to, kind of admin on Wednesday nights for the street stocks and still hop behind the wheel on Tuesday nights and drive, I kind of get that perfect balance where I can still, experience things from the driver's seat and kind of understand, how our members and our drivers are going through things throughout the races, and, how certain things might affect them positively or negatively throughout the race. And you learn from that, and it's great because I'm able to carry that directly over to Wednesday night races and just kind of create a better overall target to shoot for what's best for the members and the drivers. So it all works out, and yeah, it's all working great right now. Everything's clicking.
Yeah, that it is. Awesome turnout in both series, and I tell you what, I know I'm pumped up for next season. Can't come soon enough. But Tanner, I like to ask, especially, I don't know if you've been asked before by Al. I always love to ask, what's your sim setup like? What do you got for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that good stuff as well here before we let you go.
I am rocking a single screen. I don't have all the specs on my computer in front of me. I couldn't tell you, anything otherwise than it's a desktop computer. It's a Lenovo gaming PC, and then I've got just a single. I think this is a 32-inch monitor. I had triples for a while. I'd like to get back to that eventually, but then I'm racing on a set of Fanatic. These are CSL Elite load cell pedals that are probably, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old now, and I'm still racing with my original and only ever owned sim racing wheel. I've got a brand new out of the box when I bought it Logitech G27 that is still holding true to this day. I've never had anything else since. So yeah, you don't need to have a big old setup to really, run fast and enjoy iRacing. It's all strictly what do you want your immersion factor to be. For some people that's more important and whatnot, but I just want to get on here and have a good time and race. So we're rocking the single screen and some old equipment, but tried and true, baby. She's working pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sure that thing's got to be close to 1,000,000 miles turned on that wheel, right?
Probably. Yeah, it's got to be getting pretty close. It gets pretty hot when I do these long races, man. I'm starting to smell it. So we're going to have to probably be in the market for another one pretty soon. I'll get another G27 if I have to. I love this thing to death. And yeah, like I say, put it through a lot of laps, a lot of crashes, a lot of late nights, a lot of laughs. And she's still here running strong for me.
Man, that's awesome to hear, Tanner. Well, once again, congrats on the runner-up finish here. Like we mentioned before, a strong finish to your season, able to get top 5 in points. But before we let you go and put the curtain on the season, let's say, I'm going to go hand over the mic to you for the final time and give a shout out to maybe some sponsors on the car, some sponsors in real life. Of course, maybe some of those all-important teammates, people you want to shout out on the broadcast. And I forgot to mention, maybe start off with, what's your plans for real-life racing? I know you just announced some cool news as well.
Yeah, so we're going to run our street stock over to Wasso Speedway here in Michigan. You're going to go over there and play around with that for a little bit and maybe travel around a little bit from time to time, kind of pick and choose some other stuff. But yeah, we'll be doing all the street stock races at Owasso, and then I'll also be doing a little spotting. I know you will as well, but we'll be doing a little spotting for our buddy Ron Hart. That's also part of the league and his modified. So that's something I haven't done in quite a while, but it's always a blast, so we'll be doing that. But as far as the sim racing side of stuff goes, first and foremost, want to thank Al for all he's done for us on the late model stock side all season. Obviously, he's not here tonight. He's a little bit under the weather, which sucks for championship night. But nonetheless, Al, if you're watching, we're thinking of you, pal. Hopefully you heal up and feel better quick. Brett, thank you for filling in. You and Carson have been killing it on street stock side, as well as tonight. Pretty much all season long, you guys have been killing it. Really, the whole Turn 3 gang as a whole. But then congrats to Zach on his championship. I mean, that dude's an absolute rocket every single week. I don't think that is going to catch anybody off guard. So congrats to Zach. Love racing with that guy. Really clean, really fast. And then as far as sponsorship goes, we got the fictional 100cars.com paint scheme on the late model stock tonight just because it looks cool. But as far as the real racing goes, got Elif Brothers Roofing, Boardwalk Subs, KRW Performance and Custom, Accurate Inspections, Mike's High Performance Gears, and Postma Flooring. That is also the title sponsor of the late model stocks. Got to give a big shout out to Zach for all he does for me and the league as well. So yeah, appreciate it, and looking forward to this quick 3-week break, and we'll get back after it in about a month or so.
Yeah, that we will. So Tanner, it's been a great time chatting with you. Always a pleasure, my man. So you take care. Enjoy yourself in this off season as well. And I look forward to seeing this one car back out on track next season.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother.
Alrighty, folks. That was our runner-up finisher, Tanner Tallarico, finishing in P number 2. Now we'll head back to our winner here tonight, the 33 machine. That is Justin Brooks. Justin, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Oh, man, I know. Made you wait a little bit. Sorry about that. But, man, you were on rails here tonight. We'll start at the top of the night. Quick time here. How do you find the speed in these race cars? I mean, of course, here in iRacing, we don't have feel, anything like that. How do you kind of tell where the limit is without giving away too much secrets, right?
I guess it's just a repetition thing from this car. I just know like how much I can really push it on entry and exit, especially when it started off as a hotter track and qualifying it kind of threw me for a little loop. I expected to cool down more. I went out there and had less grip than I thought. I didn't think it'd be the pole because I got really loose, but still laid on a pretty good lap. But when the track actually cooled down, it was what I was used to, and I did practice and had a lot more grip. So I mean, it's just like I said, a repetition thing of like how much to throw it in there, how much brake to use, how much throttle input, how much wheel input, and that's the biggest thing to keep speed and keep the tires on it for me at least.
Yeah, those things definitely very, very key. Justin, once again, congrats on the pole here. Of course, going out flag to flag in the heat race. Then feature time comes around once again, starting deep in the field. You quickly made your way through the field. I mean, what was the mindset at the start of the race? Just get to that front as quickly as possible and try and set sail?
Well, after that first caution there, and I think it was like lap 1, lap 2, it definitely was. I didn't want to get involved in other people's mess. So, I mean, I was trying to be patient, but if I felt like I could force the issue a little bit, I know I know myself I can hold the line and all. So I was trying to be patient, but if the opportunity presented itself, I was going to take it. I made it 3 wide there early on. I'm pretty sure it was on Andrew, and made it clean, stuck it. And we had cautions work out in my favor and made quick work on the restarts and was able to put myself in position to take the lead from Hayden. And right after that, the caution come out, and last week everybody pitted early. I figured they'd do the same. I wanted to wait longer, but I went ahead and pitted, and like 5 people stayed out. So my game plan then was to just be smart. I knew I had fresher tires than guys in front of me, and just be methodical and work myself to the lead. And when I got in the lead, just save until the very end. I think I saved till about that one restart there, about 15, 20 to go. Then I just let it loose, and it sucked. I didn't want to see that yellow because I had like a 4 second lead. I was having fun stretching my legs out, but had a few cautions there at the end, and just had to focus on getting some good restarts and LMS shifts, and just keep it pointing straight.
Yeah, and that you did an awesome job. Best lap by anyone out on track during the race pace. So Justin, not only qualifying pace, but even that race pace, my man, absolutely flying out here at North Wilkesboro. Is this a track that you know pretty well, one of your favorites, or it was just things clicking for you when you load into these sessions?
Well, yeah, this definitely I'm familiar with this track. I've always liked it a lot. Anytime I've ever raced here, whether it's in officials or in a league, I love this track. It's just a worn out racetrack. You gotta manage your throttle. You can't just bomb side off into the corner like a qualifying lap every lap. So I mean, it works. It's basically up my alley. I love worn out racetracks like this, and it's just the character of it and the fact that you can race side by side. It's one of the more better racing tracks in iRacing. So yeah, it definitely would be like one that was on the schedule I would circle every time.
Yeah, man, and you had ton of speed, like I mentioned before, but yeah, there towards the end, we saw some different lines chosen by you on these restarts. What was kind of the thought process there, of course, before that final most important restart of the night?
I just throw everybody off their game. I don't want them just be able to guess like where I'm going and like what part of the restart box I'm going to fire. It's just trying to be different and just keep everybody on their toes. Basically, it's just a mental game. But there at the very end, I figured I'd try to bomb again because I knew the guys behind me had worn out tires, and the last thing I wanted was them to time to restart and go off in a corner and I get used up or anything like that. So I mean, I just didn't want to take a chance on that. Figured I'd play it more safe, a safe approach there at the end, and it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, that it did. Able to pick up now two in a row, Justin. So winning last week at the Bull Ring, you come back here tonight picking up a second win. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself. How we feeling about that, and maybe what are your plans for next season? Would love to see you here and challenge a full season with the speed you have.
Yeah, I feel pretty great. I mean, it's fun to come in here. I haven't been doing much racing until I started racing with you guys. Been taking a break from my racing for a bit, so it's nice to get back in and lock some laps. But it's definitely some good competition over here, some clean drivers, just a good atmosphere. I enjoy talking to some of these people that have. There's quite a bit of I've never even spoken to before, but it's nice to get to know some of them. And yeah, definitely looking forward to coming back next season. I don't know. I don't want to go guarantee that I can run the full season. I mean, I can try to, but it's probably going to miss a few races. I'll just be able to show up when I can. But when I do show up, I mean, I hope to put the hell on a hell of a race for you and the viewers out there.
Yeah, and that you did here tonight, Justin. And yeah, would love to see as much as you can because, yeah, like you just mentioned there, put on a hell of a show for all of us to enjoy. And yeah, man, it's awesome to see just the level of competition. You probably felt it a little bit in the car. I mean, hard, close racing, which is so tough to get right on iRacing.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty, Justin. Well, once again, congrats on the win, going two in a row here at the end, picking up those all important ASRC wins. But you, my man, I tell you what, we are pumped up for you. And yeah, before we let you go, I always like to ask, what's your sim setup like for maybe people watching at home? Give a little bit of insight. What do you got for wheel pedals? What are you looking at? All that fun stuff.
I got a Fanatec. It's the CSL Elite with the V3 pedals. I have an Extreme Sim Racing. It's like a cockpit. Big 43-inch TV. Instead of a monitor, I got a big 43-inch TV with a hyperpower PC. So I mean, I got a nice, smooth, comfy, top of the line setup. I guess you could say I love this wheel. I mean, I've been running on it for a few years now, so it's definitely something fun. If you're out in the sim racing world and you want something good, Fanatec's one of the top ones to go for, in my opinion. So definitely check them out if you ain't got it. Pretty much it, right here.
Yeah, I tell you what, those V3 pedals definitely top of the line. I tell people it doesn't make you faster, it just makes you more consistent, which then will make you faster over a race, right?
Yep, exactly. I mean, like I said, I love them. The comfort, everything. It's really nice.
Yeah, they definitely are really sweet here, Justin. Well, we'll let you get rocking and rolling. Don't want to chat your ear off too much here, but here tonight, going to go hand over the mic to you and thank who you got to thank, whether maybe some teammates, people watching on the broadcast, or maybe some of those sweet sponsors with another sweet paint scheme. I tell you what, Justin, always one of the best looking cars when you load into a race.
I appreciate that. Well, since you mentioned that, I'll give a plug to justinbrooksdesigns.com. It's my own thing. I do real life and sim wraps, done for a ton of people. So, I mean, if you ever need a wrap, you're in the market for a new wrap or something, check me out. Check my website, justinbrooksdesigns.com. Got my Discord, Facebook, everything on there. Thank Crow Sim Shots. Want to thank Kelly Racing, Shook Steakhouse, and obviously thank you for putting this on. Thank you for taking the time to interview me. It's a pleasure talking to you. Thank the league for letting me come in here at the very end of the season and run the last 2 races. I felt kind of uneasy coming in. I didn't want to go spoil anybody's championship or messing anything up, but they were very open arms with letting me come and run. And like I said, I very enjoy it. If you're out here looking for a good late model stock league, you need to check out ASRC. They have, I'm sure he has all the socials on the broadcast. And thank everybody out there that's raced me tonight. It's, like I said, a pleasure once again getting to know some of these guys and race against them. So thank all of them.
Yeah, and thank you very much, Justin, spending your night with us, getting to know people, getting the feel, and yeah, like I mentioned before, hopefully we see you on back. But you, my man, have a great rest of the night. Take care, and I'm sure once you show up next season, I'm sure we'll be talking to you again.
All right, we'll see you, buddy. Have a good one.
You as well. That was our race winner, Justin Brooks, parking it down in Victory Lane. And then we got to talk to the man of the hour. After 12 weeks, this guy puts on a show and he parks it down on the front stretch here. It is the 44 machine of Zach Nichols. Zach, do you got a copy?
Yeah, we do.
Alrighty, man. Made you wait till the very end, and you know the reason why. Walking away with your, I want to say your, no, it's not your first ASRC championship, but your first late model stock championship with us. How we feeling after an up and down night, but knowing you at least had that little bit of points advantage coming in?
I feel like we managed to see the lowest of lows and the highest of highs throughout that race. With getting caught up in that first lap wreck, I thought it was kind of over because the car was like pretty much destroyed. We had like over a minute and something of damage, and then halfway through the race, we got into another wreck and had another minute of damage to fix up. And I think we ended the race with 30-something seconds still of damage. So luckily, we were able to drive up there and get back into the top 5. Actually the top 3, but with Andrew's unfortunate deal on the last lap. But yeah, it was a ton of fun during the season, and
yeah, we seen it, a couple of times. Stakes not as high as tonight, of course, Zach, but we've seen you rebound many of times in races. Of course, with the invert, starting deeper in the field, getting caught up in other people's messes, in some messes, and then all of a sudden, with 30, 20 to go, here comes Zach Nichols, top 5, top 3. I mean, how do you balance even the emotions in the car? Because us racers, we get emotional behind the wheel. How do you keep all that in check to end up, filing out with your head on straight and still beating heart?
I really don't feel like I keep my emotions in check. I feel like I drive better when I'm angry. So usually when I'm angry, I can get up there towards the front. So that's kind of how we were today. Just got caught up in some unfortunate mishaps, and we were able to drive up there.
Yeah, that you were one of those mishaps I have to mention there. Getting involved with one of your teammates there, you and Jimmy Gallagher on the backstretch, and luckily you missed that opening on the backstretch. We saw 2 other cars hit it, destroy their cars, but I mean, what happened there from your point of view, and how'd that change your race as well? Because that was a big turning point here tonight besides that last lap 1 wreck.
I mean, I don't think it changed that much, other than having to come down for getting some damage fixed. But yeah, I mean, on my view, I was like, I ran him down from either a half a second to a second, and then once I got to him, I was considering I thought he was a teammate, or he is a teammate, and I thought he'd like let me by and we could both just drive up there towards the front of the pack. And once I got up there and underneath him, he like drove me really hard, and then we kind of just were rubbing doors there for a little bit, and then we just both kind of went in the wall. But after this, I'm gonna go talk to him and see what his thoughts are, and yeah, we'll put it past us.
Yep, that we will here at ASRC. Always pretty good about that, you know, able to chat about stuff. And especially with racers, you know, we don't forget, you know, big moments, but most stuff, you know, we can put in the past and move on forwards, let's say, and go back to racing, let's say, when that helmet goes back on.
Yeah, for sure. This league's really good for like just not having a lot of drama in it and whatnot. So it's always a pleasure to be racing with people like that and that can put all that stuff behind them, and looking forward to next season.
Yeah, that we are, because also, of course, Zach, one more race to go in the overall short track champion. You're leading that. How we feeling about that going into tomorrow night? Might be talking to you again with that sort of thing. Just the overall consistency you've had, even with, you know, missing last week. It tightened up the points, but man, you have been on it here, it seems like, all season long. Only one win this season, of course, in this series, but to put it all together, a championship, have to be feeling pretty good.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely feels good. I mean, I talked to you last week and you said I had it wrapped up, so I mean, we're gonna go into that race and just kind of put our head down and see if we can close out another win.
Yeah, it would be awesome, because I think in the Street Stock series, I want to say you have about like 4 wins or something on that season. So very, very impressive in the Street Stocks and the late model stocks, like we mentioned already here tonight. You know, the adversity you had to fight, come back through, and then on top of all that, finish on the podium, walking away with the big trophy. I mean, Postma Flooring 2025 Season 1 champion, my man. Gotta be feeling good.
Feels great, man. I can't thank Postma Flooring and everyone that helps him like put this whole league together and whatnot. And it's a ton of fun to come out each week and put a show on.
Yeah, that it is. We are glad to have you, Zach, to be one of the people to come out here, race, put the show on for all of us to enjoy. I always love to see the 44 machine out on track, and the chances I get to race with you, you know, always a great time racing with you, because you're one of those drivers. It seems like we're getting more of that feel, you know, where you can really trust someone, and that's a tough thing to get here on iRacing, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Knowing what people do and what their tendencies are, knowing that like really revolves in like good clean racing. So like you know what they're gonna do and can like set them up and whatnot. But yeah, it's this league's a ton of fun, and if anyone's watching that's not in it, I'd highly recommend joining. It's a great great bunch of people.
Yeah, I appreciate the shout out there, Zach. And yeah, my man, walking away third tonight, championship, going for your other champion as well as 2 other championships tomorrow. So you won't want to miss that racing, folks, tuning on in. And yeah, man, I mean, any other final thoughts you have here tonight after a crazy race for you, but knowing to walk away, man, with the big trophy when it's all said and done?
Not much other than I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting all season. It's a ton of fun to go back and watch and have relatives watching and whatnot. And all the Lee admins for putting this whole deal on. It's a ton of fun. My sister's watching, my dad's watching, my Uncle Kenny's watching. I'd like to shout them all out. And yeah, that's about it.
Alrighty, Zach. Well, of course, I got to give a big shout out to you, man. The season champion, an incredible job, an awesome season for you. So we look forward to seeing you back out track here. 3-week break, back into action. Hopefully we'll see you on out there. And you, my man, have a great rest of your night. Go party it on up.
Yeah, thank you. You have a good night too.
Alrighty, folks. That was our 3rd place finisher, and more importantly, the Postma Flooring champion, Zach Nichols, getting the job done here and walking away with the big hardware here tonight. So once again, got to give a big shout out here. We mentioned it before, all the racers here to put on the show for all of us to enjoy. Got to give a big shout out all the live viewers tuning on in, enjoying the racing. Like I mentioned before, don't forget tomorrow night, Street Stock Championship. We'll see Zach Nichols lock that up and try and go for the overall short track championship. You won't want to miss it. Street Stocks right here at North Wilkesboro tomorrow night on 9 p.m. here on Turn 3 Racing Network. kind of mentioned it just there, but want to, of course, give a big shout out all the live viewers tuning in, all the replay viewers for enjoying these races. And, you know, I get to enjoy it with you guys, so really do appreciate that. As well as the league sponsors, of course, the big one being Postma Flooring. If you're on the Midwest, the west side of Michigan, be sure to look them up for your next flooring job because they do some awesome work, and we look forward to them being a sponsor here at ASRC. Some other sponsors coming on board. We had the LaPlante Racing Products coming on board with, of course, the LaPlante Triple Crown Challenge, so got to give them a shout out. The caution sponsor that we saw quite a few times here tonight, of course, that being Boardwalk Subs, another great sub shop on the west side of Michigan. If you have one in your area, be sure to check them on out and make sure you go rogue with those subs. The other one being race1wraps.com, coming on board with the Wednesday night series with the street stock. So let's run on through tonight's race results and get everyone on out of here and get ready for its season finale tomorrow night in the street stock. So Justin Brooks in the 33 machine goes back to back. He picks up the win. Tanner Talarico in the 1 has another podium. Will finish in the runner-up position. Then in third place in the 44, Zach Nichols, our season champion, will finish on the podium. Stephen Hoffman had an impressive run here tonight. Will finish in P number 4, and then rounding out the top 5, Hayden Swink with another top 5 finish. Doug McDonald claws his way back up into 6th in the 18. Chuck Darling in the 88 will finish 7th. 8th going to Ron Hart in the 51. 9th is Matt Kemp in the 005. John DeMeester, how about this right here? John DeMeester in the 2 machine rounds out the top 10. Jamie Prevost, another great finish for another driver in the 73 machine. Prevost will finish 11th. Jimmy Gauker will finish 12th in the 020 machine. Tim Rogers in the 5 will finish 13th. 14th going to Braden Cook. 15th going to Greggy Long. 16th is Andrew Payne, a heartbreak for him right there at the end. 17th, Colby Garrett. 18th is Andrew Hardings. P number 19 will be Zach Corey. 20th is TJ Hansen. 21st, Dave Payne. And then Mike McCaskill in 22nd. So that will do it here for tonight. And do it for season number 1 of the Postma Flooring late model stock. So thanks again to everyone tuning on in. And we will catch you in 3 weeks' time. That's when season number 2 of 2025 will kick on off, a clean slate, and we'll see how that shakes on out. Another 12-week season full of action-packed short track racing here with the late model stocks. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth with Turn 3. Be sure to tune into Turn 3 throughout the week. Have a lot of great racing, a lot of great broadcasters, as well as some of the best sim racing action here. And with Turn 3, we are partnered with Premier Setup Shops. Link in the description. That'll take you over to Premier, as you guys could show support from Turn 3, as Premier supports us, would be greatly appreciated. So once again, I've been Brett the Jet in the booth here. Everyone take care, stay safe, have a great rest of your week if you're done tuning on in. But if not, you get to listen to my voice here tomorrow night as we get ready to crown a street stock champion. So we will catch you on them. But I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Oh, and P.S., thanks to Al Smith for covering this series this season. He did an awesome job, and hope you're feeling better, buddy. So I've been Brett the Jet in the booth, and I just flew by you. Have a good one.
It was 45-40.
It was 35-26.